talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! It is gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball!
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with KJ McCoy, Jesse Sharon, Dalt, and Freddie. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in to the Phillies postgame show. We are back for the second half of the Philadelphia Phillies regular season. And the first postgame back for the second half of the Phillies regular season is a not laugher, but a big win for the Philadelphia Phillies. 6-1. The Phillies beat the Mets. They beat them with 3 errors from the New York Mets, and we can all say LOLMETS. And to do that, I am joined by the legendary Mr. Fratty, James Frattoni himself. My man, how we doing?
Doing all right. Doing great. It's been a crazy week. I figure talk about real quick before I want to just talk about how great of a week the All-Star week was. It was great seeing KJ, seeing Dalton, having laughs, having that All-Star experience that won't happen again for years. That was something special. Going out to lunch for them at having cheesesteaks and stuff at the Reading Terminal Market. It was a great experience. Great doing the home run, not home run thing. The pitching thing, machine, speed thing. It was good to do the climbing thing with Dalton. I'm just waiting a quick summary before I get to the game. That stuff was that experience was unbelievable, and I know you were there the day before me, but it was a great experience. It's something I'll never forget in my lifetime. I don't know if my mom's going to be alive the next time the All-Star game is here or not. We'll see, but fingers crossed that hopefully I get to experience this at least one more time in my life. That was something, and I even said that it was just something I'll never forget, and that was great. The experience, like I said, but moving on to the actual game, and we'll get a little more into the other All-Star stuff a little bit later on, maybe in Friday's quarter. Talk about what else I thought about the actual game in Derby. That was just about the experience. The Phillies just they just shut down the Mets for the most part today, except for that one home run by Taylor. I'll tell you what, the New York Mets feels like the New York Mets we're 5-3 against them this year. We can never seem to sweep them so far yet, which is weird. I'll tell you one thing, and I'll say this. This was a very big win today by the Phillies. You look at the standings; it's still tight. First off, I just want to start talking about Trey Turner. Man, tell you what, Trey Turner. It was nice to see that Trey Turner had a sweet swing in him today. That was a sweet home run. Is he back? Yes, I think he is. I think you're going to see like a second half turn like you did in 2023. I believe he's going to start going on a hot streak just because Brandon Marsh has been struggling, but I think Trey Turner's going to be the one that goes on a hot streak that Brandon Marsh was going on before the All-Star break. Before we got cold before the All-Star break, I meant to say. But other than that, I'm happy to see that Trey Turner is out there doing his thing, hitting a home run in moments that were needed. And I'll tell you what. He's going to play a major role as we go throughout the rest of the season. We need to see Trey Turner show up in the playoffs this year because you look at the lineup around him. There's top to bottom, Schwarber, Harper, Marsh, everybody else. This lineup is capable. This lineup is very capable of doing some damage in the playoffs. They just can't choke. But it's capable of doing damage from top to almost bottom. And there's still a couple weak links in there, but you even see Bryson Stott today. I'm jumping to him real quick. It was nice to see him go out there, get a triple, hustle. It was beautiful to see. This is what you need to be seeing from this team. We need to be seeing good pitching. We'll get to the pitching in a little bit, but good pitching, but most importantly, good hitting. The offense really showed up today. It was much better showing than Thursday night. Putting up, I know we should have put up more than 6, but listen, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with 6 runs just because we have to save some runs for tomorrow. Let me get some water a minute. But overall, I'll tell you one thing. Like I said, the offense showed up when needed the most, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I know tomorrow we got the bullpen game tomorrow, but I'm hoping we save the runs. Because we're probably going to need them tomorrow. We probably need to score more than 5 runs again to win tomorrow because I'm not really comfortable with how starting versus the Mets. And I know some people will say it's a scheduled loss, which I kind of agree. There's a possibility we could lose this series, but at least we took one today to possibly avoid the worst case of a sweep. But at least we, at worst case, took one the series because we don't know if we're going to win tomorrow with this stupid bullpen game. But we'll see. We took 2 out of 3 against the Mets the first 2 times. And I think all 3 times so far when we played the Mets, we were 1-1 after 2 games of the series. And I believe we won the middle game. No, wait, I'm wrong. I believe, yeah, like I said, we were 1-1 both times when we played the Mets so far, and we went on to win the last game of the series both times so far. So history is on our side again to possibly win a 3rd straight series against the Mets, 2 or 3, before we play a 4-gamer against the Mets in September, which should be interesting, including a national game with Fox, which might change. But real quick, I want to get to the bullpen. Get to the bullpen too. I'll tell you one thing. The Phillies bullpen, Shugart, I was shocked. Chase Shugart, this I was about to give up on this man. We were about to give up on this man. He pitched 2 shutout innings today for the Phillies. 2 shutout innings, which was very shocking. And I know it's just only against the Mets. The Mets aren't good. But the fact of the matter is, the bullpen looked great today. The bullpen hasn't been looking bad the first couple games, except for Seth Johnson allowing that 1 run. The bullpen has only allowed really, and I think 5 innings pitched, I think it was, or 5 and something, and some change innings pitch, has only allowed 1 run since the break, which our bullpen is off to a very great start versus the break. You can't really blame Seth Johnson for allowing that run the other night because the offense didn't even show up the other night. So the
Yeah.
bullpen has been looking surprisingly great. I still I still think we need a couple arms in the bullpen. I still do. Just because you're not going to see this consistently from these guys. Just because I feel a little uneasy coming up with the Dodgers and Yankees coming in there. Uh, but I don't expect us to get any sweeps this homestand at all. I don't expect us to get any sweeps. You're not going to sweep the Dodgers or Yankees. You win. I'd be happy if we go 500 against those two teams, just because they're tough competition. However, what is on our side is that Aaron Judge is not going to be playing. We're gonna miss out playing Aaron Judge, which is great. Which is, I mean, I don't root for injury. I'd rather see us play against the whole healthy team. But we caught a break. We caught a break with not having to face Aaron Judge next weekend. So I know I'm jumping all over the place just because there's a lot going on lately. Uh, but pretty much all. That's all I have to say. Uh, with this game. One more thing. I forgot that we didn't even talk about the start. I talked about the bullpen, the
Lazardo.
offense. What about the
Lazardo.
starting pitching? What
That was
about
gonna be my next. That was gonna be my next question, man.
Luzardo? I mean, besides allowing a home run, I know he didn't go extremely deep like he usually does, but he looked great today for the most part. Coming back from the break, I know he pitched an inning in the All Star game. I expected him to be a little rocky, but he held himself together. Held himself together pretty well. I think his pitch count was pretty high after a couple innings, but after that he held himself pretty good. I think he went, I think 5 or something innings. I think today, from what I remember, five. I think he went into the sixth, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I know, kind of forgot. I usually am good at remembering things, but Lazard looked great. Uh, what you should be seeing from a fourth starter, and talking about the starting rotation, Phillies did a good job not putting both their top two aces, saving them for the Dodgers series, which was good. Which is most importantly very good, just because they're a better team, the bigger series. Um, Overall, not gonna lie, uh, that's all I have to say. No complaints with Lazardo, but overall, I'm pretty hyped. Not real. I'm pretty hyped for the rest of the regular season. Uh, I'll be at least 3 more games the rest of the year. Scheduled to go to 3 more games right now, including I'm supposed to go to the hall. I'm going to be sitting in the Hall of Fame Club in September. In September too. Decided to make a
Ooh.
return in there.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
on a second row too. 227 row two. I bought tickets. They were like and believe it or not, they were only $84 a piece. $84 a piece, which usually they're almost $100. So I decided I want to see a couple old friends, ushers I used to when I used to work the condiment food stand. I see a couple ushers I know in the Hall of Fame club. So that should be good. This is September 23rd against the
You used to
Brewers.
work at
Towards
the
the end.
ballpark?
What happened?
You used to work at the ballpark?
I did. I used to work at CBP, but that should be fun. That's going to be towards the end of the year. A big series against the Brewers. And who knows what could happen then. I picked the perfect time. Perfect time. Other than that, I'm going to Schwarber game. It's September 8th to 23rd, and probably a game with 3 or 2 birds. Probably four more games, 3 or 4 more games the rest of the year, most likely. So it should be fun, guys. But as of right now, you won't be seeing Friday really at the ballpark. Uh, Most likely you won't see me much at all the next month. So,
Yeah.
um, just because I'm just gonna be riding it out at home for the most part. But anyway, that's all I really have to say in that aspect. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, I mean, you pretty much covered it, but uh, you know, The series finale is tomorrow. Rangel on the mound, bullpen game. We'll go to Friday's Corner for your evaluation on that.
Yo, Friday, give him the business. Only in South Philly. Only at Friday's Corner. It's Friday's Corner.
Well, Phillies win 5-6-1. Matt Blair was just sitting there watching soccer. He don't care about his Mets anymore so much that they're so inconsistent. Forget about him. Frank the Tank, they all have given up on the Mets. JJ Segalo. I'm not going to spend too long trash talking them because it's nothing new. They're done anyway. So why should they even care anymore about the Mets? But anyway, I want to talk about the home run derby. First of all, shout out to Schwarber for making it to the final. I'll tell you what, he came very close. And shout out to the man I'll be seeing next month, Jordan Walker. Hopefully, Schwarber can the little revenge on the Cardinals next month when I go see him for his bobblehead night. It's fun, very fitting how he was facing Jordan Walker in the final in the home run derby, and yet his Schwarber bobblehead will be on the night that Jordan Walker returns here. That's a small world, very small world,
It is.
I'll say, which is crazy. But that was a great home run derby. Just watching it, hearing experiences. I know KJ was there, had a great time, and also, I want to give a shout out. I don't really know this guy. I've heard of him before. I think he's liked my post before on Instagram. Shout out to Ethan. I'll tell you what a trooper that man is. Took a big home run ball off the face, lost his teeth, and they were able to replace his teeth. He ended up going back to the other festivities the next day without like it was nothing. That kid is a warrior, and I want to shout you out. I hope Ethan, I hope you're watching this, man. That was hearing that story the other night on Wednesday night was unbelievable. Unbelievable how somebody you took 100-something-mile homer off the face with your teeth getting broken, and you somehow grinded it out and somehow went to the festivities All-Star game the next day in Village. You don't see that by a lot of people. Young kid, he's only 15 years old, whole life ahead of him. I've heard some great stories this weekend. That's one of them. That has to be, not gonna lie, all my years on 302 Birds, Phillies postgame, last couple of years, this last week, I think that story by Ethan's probably one of the most unbelievable, fearless stories I have heard on this podcast since I've been on 302 Birds. And there's been some good stories, but that's up there. That's up there with a few stories. It's definitely up there. Overall. So shout out to Ethan. Shout out to what's his name? Dalton. I'll tell you what. Dalton makes his magic happen. And I know I can probably I know we could probably go on for another at least another 5-10 minutes to talk about it. I mean, I know we have, and I might as well just go on maybe at least another five or so minutes. I know Shane Gillis. Tell you what, big Birds fan. That show broke records. This has been one of the more crazier weeks I have remembered ever at this history of this podcast, and in life in general. Because you had all that going on in combination of wildfires, that big storm. I know I'm getting off topic. We're supposed to talk on Phillies, but it was a crazy week, and I'm giving a bunch of shout outs. Even the grounds crew did a good job this weekend, this past weekend too, with getting the field ready for a couple days after the All-Star game. And you can't even realize we even hosted the All-Star game because after playing 2 days later. But I know I'm going back and forth and all. Friday's just hyped for some reason because this is the first show back. But promise we'll dive deeper as the second half goes along. But overall, we got one more game with the Mets, and I'm hoping we win tomorrow. and then we can preview the Dodger series. But anyway, uh, but it was great. Fast forward into the All Star game Tuesday night. Uh, it was boring. It was very boring for the most part. But the highlight of it was the Jets going by. I know the Jets going by. That gave me like 4,500 views on Instagram, which was crazy. Of the Jets flying by over my house. That was another good memory. There's so many things I could say about this past week. I can go on a whole maybe like another 5-10 minutes about it. It was crazy. And that little tribute thing they did for the 250th anniversary. That was a touching tribute. Stand up to cancer, all that. It was just an overall. It was a week I'll never forget in my lifetime, Jesse. And with that being said, um, it felt like it just went by so fast. It just went by so fast. Um, but with all that being said, our next big focus is to try to win a championship and try to win it now. I know me and you have already said that and I've said that we've talked about this in the chat, and a lot of us think that this team isn't going to win. I'm hoping that this is like 2018 when a lot of people were counting out the Eagles. I believed in the Eagles. I thought we were still going to win the Super Bowl, even with Nick Foles. I even said we were going to win the Super Bowl before the year started that year on Facebook, like 10 years ago almost. But I'll tell you what. Jesse. I think overall, and I'm going to end it in a minute or two. Overall, I'll say this. This team has what it takes to win. It just, if they can get the right pieces and right players at the trade deadline, which I think the deadline's August 3rd, right, Jesse? It's not the traditional July 31st like it used to be.
Yeah. I think it's. I want to say 2 weeks from now, 2-3 weeks
Yeah,
from now. So
but
I mean that conversation. It's gonna be coming up soon, though. It's gonna be coming
yeah,
up very soon.
I think when tomorrow, guys, when Billy's on there, I think that's going to be a very heavy topic that that we need to revisit. I'm not going to talk about it today. I'll save the deadline topic for tomorrow. We'll revisit that tomorrow. We'll talk about it more, dive deeper in that tomorrow. And I know this was the first show. I just wanted to talk about some experiences, talk about this game tonight, because it just needed to be talked about. It was just a lot to talk about this weekend. I know, Jesse, I'll let you maybe for a minute mention about your All-Star experience, because I know I've been rambling on for a good 10 minutes. So, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can totally do that. Mine was absolutely fantastic. I was able to go to the All Star Village day one, and I met so many people there. I met John Denny. I met Juan Samuel, Milt Thompson, Matt Vasgersian, Chris Young, all topped by not all topped, but the cherry on top, so to speak, was none other than the Phillies '93 legend and broadcaster, color analyst himself, John Kruk. Was able to talk to him, and I gotta say, for all the people that are like, "Oh, this guy, I'm sure he's different off camera. I'm sure he's more polite. I'm sure he's more politically correct." No, he's the exact same person. He's so flippin' funny. And if you ever get the chance to have a conversation with him, you are blessed. You're blessed because it is the most human interaction you're ever going to have. He's so real. He's the realest of real you're ever going to reel. He is absolutely outstanding. Got him to comment on the Mets, and I will say it wasn't the most flattering of comments, as you would imagine. go check that out on Philly Sports Pulse on our Instagram and 302 Birds on our Instagram. I'll say 302 Birds because they've got triple the followers I do. So
Yeah.
302 Birds on Instagram. But I mean, he was awesome. Got to talk to none other than the Phillies owner himself, John Middleton, literally in the middle of the team store. It was packed. The lines were crazy. But got to talk to him. He couldn't have been nicer at the Futures game the very next day. And the MLBX 303 Home Run Derby was amazing. I feel like that did not get enough attention, the attention that it so dearly and so it most needed to be, because it was amazing. You had Terrell Owens, you had freaking Ryan Howard, freaking Shane Victorino, Terrell Owens, Jordan Mailata. The list goes on and on. You had softball players hitting bombs. The softball player actually won the MVP of that whole thing. She put on a show. I just, if I had her name off the top of my head, I would totally shout her out.
Who it was. I thought I saw her. Oh, Garcia. Was it something Garcia or something?
I think. Yeah, dude, either way, man, she was killing it. She was killing. Ryan Howard actually kind of choked at the end there. On the final, they did 3 rounds, and the final round, Ryan Howard kind of choked at the end there. But, she just kept going. It was incredible. And to see, there's been reports that there's going to be a professional women's baseball league out there. That's really cool. I don't think there's going to be. I don't think they announced a team in Philly yet, but that's going to be amazing to see. We love that. But overall, insane week. Got to go to that Shane Gillis concert that you were talking about, a minute ago. Outstanding. You had Meek Mill, you had Kelsey, you had Coop, you had 3-6, you had obviously Shane Gillis. Shane was amazing. His jokes were top tier, obviously, as one would. You had Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. I've never seen that live, and to see that in person was incredible. Kelsey was awesome. His voice was, I think, shot in the first 10 minutes he started talking, but he was great. It was, 77,000 people there? I think
so,
Shane
yeah.
broke a world record. So it was really cool. Yeah. But yeah, it was a great win for the Phils. Hopefully they can get back on track tomorrow. But we'll have Billy back on tomorrow. Sorry for the start. You boys trying to make some cool things happen for the pod. I'll just say that. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Phils win it 6-1. Get back in game 2 after an ugly game 1. That sucked. Noah sucked. The offense, actually, no, it didn't really stink, but the offense certainly did. Bullpen Seth Johnson stinks. Seth Johnson is awful. I do not want him seeing another pitch ever again. But I think that's gonna wrap things up. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you to TickPick for sponsoring tonight's stream. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Final game of the series versus the Mets, and then we play the Dodgers, the big bad Dodgers. So look out for that. But sorry for not getting to your all's comments. I'm doing this on my phone. If I try to go to the comments, my phone will literally explode. So we're not going to do that. But we're just going to end it here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and let's go.